Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sherard Show. I'm your host, Sherard. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a returning guest on the show. This gentleman is one of the funniest people in America. You can see him on Dumb Money, Saturday Night Live. You can also see him on Law and Order. He was on there back in 1999 as well. Great friend of the show, Mr. Tim Hayes. But before we get to Tim, ladies and gentlemen, the Sherrod Show is brought to you by the Pure Essence Television Network, where you can see some of the biggest interviews currently trending, such as the Temptations, the Michael Speaks interview, Jay Leno as well, Mary Wilson, the Supremes, and so many others. Just click on the link right there on Pure Essence Television. You can see the greatest episodes and interviews of your life. And it also is brought to you by iHeartRadio. If you missed this broadcast on television, you can also listen to it on iHeartRadio. Just click the link there and smile and drive. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I love laughing, and this gentleman is certainly one that fits the bill. Again, he was on Saturday Night Live. He's on Dumb Money. He's also in a couple of new films coming up. He is a regular on the show. So excited to have him on. If you ever thought Tim Conway was funny, just wait till you hear Mr. Tim Hayes. Welcome back to the Sherrod Show, sir. How are you?
Oh, it's great to be back, Sherard. Thank you so much for having me.
Tim, it's awesome having you on as well. The fans absolutely loved you as well. Now, Tim, first and foremost, let's talk about your start in the industry. Now, you kind of started later in life to be a comedian. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I started probably in my mid 50s, and I was a chiropractor for a while, 34 years of that, and you can only do that so long. And I treated it like the Letterman show. People would come in, I'd start to talk to them and interview them, and I knew if something was funny, their butts would bounce up and down because they were lying on the table. So I said, I got to do stand up. I have to get. So I started going in the city, and it was a lot of fun. And from there, it moved into some acting and Law and Order and some films here and there. But I couldn't really pursue it, Gerard, like I wanted to, because I still had kids that wanted to eat and go to school, and I had to practice, and people wanted me there. So, but I knew at some point, and that happened about 7, 8 years ago. I retired, so now it's full-time comedy, writing, plays, acting. It's all creative 24/7, which I love. So
Tim, it's amazing. That's a Cinderella story because, you go from being a chiropractor starting in your mid 50s and now you're doing it full time. And who ever thought of being from a chiropractor to being on Law and Order, Saturday Night Live as well, Dumb Money, look at your monitor and all the other things going up. So what is your advice to people who say they're too old?
oh, you're never too old. Never, never, ever, ever, never give up. The industry is difficult, but you have to persevere. Life, you have to persevere in life too. And I always knew it. I was always the funny guy. I had a great practice. People loved to come in, and they knew once they were kind of out of pain, I would have fun with them. And I started doing comedy shows. They actually came to the shows. It was great. And I was in an off Broadway production of The X's very early, just a few years ago before the pandemic. I had 150 people that I had treated from Freehold, New Jersey, to come in and see me. It was just wonderful, wonderful. So,
Wow, that's amazing. Your client sitting there laughing with you, even in pain. Wow, that's amazing. So now, Tim,
maybe I didn't check at that point, Sherrod. I was like, I'm on stage. I can't really be bothered about you. Just focus on me on stage and let's laugh. Come on.
so Tim, what was it like on the first moment when you went from a chiropractor and then you went to do stand up, and then all of a sudden, you know how it is when you're up after the next comedian. Okay, you're up. What is that like when that reality hits that, wow, I am about to do comedy and I'm safe at being a chiropractor?
Yeah, yeah, but I have that personality where I rather be like I can't go over bridges now. I'm getting to that age, Sherrod, where I don't like the height. But you put me in front of 500 people, and I am just in my environment. So it was more of a nervous energy, but it was a good thing because you always want to be prepared. You don't want to go up there and think, oh, I'll just be funny like I am at the bar after softball games. No, it's a different animal. You have to learn techniques and really have material and be at the ready. So I was pretty good early on. So it's nerve wracking, but in a good way, that you really focus your energy and you go out there. And I studied with Steve Rosenfeld over at the American Comedy Institute. And he would always tell us before you go on, always think joyous communication. And I always think of that when I go up there. I'm focused on what I want to say, where I want to go. If somebody in the audience looks like somebody famous, it's like an elephant in the room. You have to address it. But yeah, it's my environment. I like to go up there and really have fun with the audience. And the transition was pretty seamless. It was just a matter of me getting my material at a level where it was consistently funny. That takes time.
You know,
Yeah.
something interesting, Tim. You have the unique blend, it seems, where you're funny as a comedian, stand-up comedian, and then you're funny, sitcom funny as well. Not everybody has that unique blend. Like, for example, I love Seinfeld, but I love his sitcom humor better than his stand-up.
Uh,
Where do
yeah.
you think that comes from, where you have the talent to be both?
I think, well, truth be told, I started acting when I was in high school because I couldn't play basketball. I was a big sports guy. So football, baseball, I got it covered. Basketball, oh, I couldn't play, I couldn't jump. So I wasn't going to wrestle. So I started doing musicals and it was so cool. And then I found like, oh, I love the stage. And it was just a lot of fun. So I really started at an early age. I just didn't take it seriously enough when I was younger to make the transition to go and really take the jump right out of school or go to college to actually study acting. And everyone said to me, "You're going to do that, right?" I go, "No, no, I'm going to." I was a pitcher in college, I wanted to pitch for the Yankees, and of course that didn't work out. But that was the real drive. I was a big baseball nut, so that was the big thing when I was younger. And then when you hit 40, you start realizing, nah, there's more to life, and I really love these things. And there was a really good friend that introduced me to Eddie Brill. His name is Dave Tochterman from high school. And we were at our 20th reunion, I think, Sherard. I'm 40, 42. He said, "Timmy, you should have done comedy, you should have done acting." I go, "Dave, come on. I would have been an unemployed waiter in the city." He goes, "No, no, no. You know what? The cream rises to the top." And I'm like, "You son of a gun. You had to say that." Because I always had that idea that maybe, but when he dropped that bomb on me, I thought, I got to do something about this. So I still did the Cairo stuff, but I started getting in the city, like you said, starting going to the comedy stuff, going on auditions, and then I get into Law and Order, and I'm like, this is great, but I couldn't do it with the time that you need to do it successfully. So where stand up, you can. You're at night, it's nighttime. I can go. I can work on material. I don't need to be, in a rehearsal process like theater. So
Tim, that's amazing because you not only have done it very well, you've gotten the privilege to be on Saturday Night Live. And we talked about that last time you were on the show. That is such a huge honor. Now tell our audience, how did that happen?
well, here's a story. I went to a Brooke and Mary seminar to try to get a commercial agent. It's very tough to get agents. So you would go to these classes and you would do your commercial copy. And Phil Cassis approached me from Stewart Talent. And I'm telling you, Sherard, it was like a dream sequence. He goes, "Tim, I got to tell you, you're good. I believe you. I think this is," and I started laughing. He goes, "Tim, why are you laughing?" I go, "Well, Phil, this is kind of like it happens in my brain. It's not supposed to happen in real life like that." So I signed with Phil at Stewart Talent. They're wonderful. I'm going on auditions. So I got an audition for Saturday Night Live. I go in. Well, now you do it like you do to get a job. You do a self tape. I submit the self tape, and they're looking for one of the characters' father. So I just did my normal shtick, and next thing you know, my agent's calling me, "You're going to be on SNL. Let's go." And that was just a surreal experience. There's no other way to put it. To go into 30 Rock, you go to that floor, that iconic floor, which is the hallways alone have pictures when Johnny Carson was there. Even Jack Park goes all the way back, early SNL. It's just, and I'm trying to focus because we're going to shoot, but I'm looking at all these pictures. Then they go, "Hey, Tim, you want to go in and see the stage?" I'm like, oh yeah, can I do that?" And that's just awesome. So it was just a great experience, and I can't, but that's how I got it. I had lucked into a commercial agent, and they sent me a second time, Sharon. She goes, "No, they're going to go in a different direction." That happens all the time, but at least I'm on their radar. That's the key. So
very good. But ladies and gentlemen, for those who have just joined us, we're talking to celebrity comedian Mr. Tim Hayes on the Sherard Show. We'll be taking your questions momentarily. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about dumb money talk. And I got a trivia to find out who's the funniest top 3 comedians in Tim Hayes' history. I'm Sherard. We'll be right back right after this. She is responsible for booking some great guests for the show. The lovely Crystal Stallworth is returning back to the Sherard Show.
So when I met Freeway Rick Ross, I told him, the first thing I told him was, I need a job.
But you also have the author/writing gene as well. Is that correct, Crystal?
I only actually published one just so far, and that's where I wrote it for Mr. James Culpepper.
What is it like growing up in a city that has so much talent and so much rich entertainment and sports history? And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sherard Show. I'm your host, Sherard, for our Tuesday conversation with celebrity comedian Mr. Tim Hayes on the show. Now, Tim, people don't know, but you stand about 6'4". Is that correct?
Yeah, 6'3.5". I'm a big dude. Yeah.
Okay,
Big.
so when people see you, they think, oh, he may be a small guy, but they see you, oh my goodness, is
That's
is
true.
that the reaction?
That's true, Sherrod, especially in auditions and in stand-up. You meet them in this Zoom setting, and then they all go, "Oh, I had no idea." But it's pretty cool to be up on stage. That's there's like a commanding presence there, which really garners attention, which is good because they'll give you that shot to like, all right, let's pay attention to this guy because he might send us to the principal's office, or he might actually be the principal. So let's be good to him. And then when they realize you got some mojo going, you can make them laugh. Then it's fun. But yeah, it's cool. It is cool.
Very good. Now, Tim, let's talk about dumb money as everybody's looking on their monitors. Tell us a little bit about this. You're giving the kids some advice about pitching and being a hitter and things like that. Tell us a little bit about what that's all about.
Oh, okay. I think that was a short film that I did at NYU. I have to say, people that want to get into acting, there's two places you want to go. You want to be on the NYU casting websites and the Columbia University sites. The reason is a lot of these guys have the wherewithal, and girls, to actually finish their products, their movies. So this was a gentleman, really good director, a young man. I think he was in an MFA program, and the name of the film was Champions, again about baseball. And I was a coach helping this young kid in the Bronx learn a fastball. So it was a lot of fun. And the film was made. It went into film festivals, and that's a good thing, so that was a good experience. Cool. And he's doing well too. I'm sure, I hope at some point when there's something that I would be appropriate for, he'll reach out. He's now in LA, he's working. That's typically what happens. They go out and hopefully make their mark there and maybe come back to New York. We'll see, but really good guy. And it was a great experience for me just to get, again, you want to get credits. You want to get, in film, and Columbia and NYU are really good places when you're first starting out. So.
Very good. It looks really cool. Now, where can they be able to see the short film?
That short film, that's a good question. It was in the festival, it made the festival circuit. I think it's on Vimeo. You can see Champions on Vimeo. I'm in it, a bunch of other people, really, really good. Yeah, and it's for a short film. Again, short film, you think 10 minutes short. It's actually ambitious. It's close to 20 minutes. Good story. This kid, and I knew it. When you see these people, when you meet people, you're like, this kid's going places. He really knows what he's doing. And that's happened. So that's on Vimeo. Another one I did with a Columbia MFA candidate called Gumshoe. That was a great experience too. That's also on Vimeo. And that's more like in the 10, 12 minute area, which is your typical short film. So.
Very good. Now let's talk about a couple of things you have coming up as well. You have something called Talk. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. The Talk is actually, this is just a friend of mine that we met in acting class, and we hit it off, and we wrote a script, a short film script, and it stars me and my friend, both of us who wrote it, and it takes place in a diner, and it talks about communication and generational differences in handling communications, namely this. So I think it's very funny. It's we shot it about 3 weeks ago. Through using a lot of friends, people that we know in the industry, really good people, really anamorphic cameras, just phenomenal, well shot. It's in post-production, as I said. So the game plan is to get that ready and get it out into film festivals, just like the last two I spoke about. And hopefully something will happen there. So, but it's a good story. I don't want to give too much away. I'm there to meet my daughter's boyfriend, actually, where we're communicating, we're texting back and forth. And I'm not a big texter. Keyboard's too small and my fingers are too fat. And why can't we just meet and talk? So it's that frustration that builds through the film. And then we take off from there. And I think it's pretty funny. So
very good. I can't wait to see that. That seems very interesting.
Cool.
Puts me in the mindset of Meet the Parents. So I'm very excited about seeing that. Keep me posted on that, and I will keep you all posted who are watching as well. Also, something else you got coming up that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've been during the pandemic, especially too, Sherrod. I was in an off-Broadway production of The X's, which was a great experience at Theater Row. We ran for 2 months. Now, mind you, I just maybe 3 years ago had retired as a chiropractor, and I would tell my patients, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I can't listen to people in pain all the time. Plus, I want to be creative. I want to go. I'm going to go on the stage. I'm going to be on the New York stage. Within 3 years, I don't know. I just auditioned and I got a role on in an off-Broadway production at Theater Row called The X's by Lenore Scommel. A lot of fun, and that's when I had 150 people that I had previously adjusted and treated coming in to see me. So I thought during this process, I just fell in love. Well, I love live theater anyway, but I fell in love with the idea of maybe writing something. So I started writing. I started writing plays, and I got involved with a series of writers groups in the city, New Circle, Great Barrington Theater, up in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. It's called Berkshire Voices, under the helm of Lee Curran. I mean, these are really top people that have had shows on Broadway and off Broadway. So you go in, you write your stuff, and you typically bring a scene and they work on it. So I've been workshopping this play. It's called Closed Doors. It's about an hour long. It'll be at the Fringe Festival in April, the 2nd, the 9th, the 13th, and the 20th. They give you 4 days, 4 dates. So I was very excited when that got in the Fringe. And I have my cast. I have some really good people. I have a director, stage manager. The fun of writing and then meeting people that bring their expertise, the director, the actors that add to it and layer it. It gets to a point where I sit there and watch what I wrote and go, oh my God, that is really good, really moving. So I'm really excited about it. We're going through the final stages of the script. I want to get it to my actors who have read for me. Typically what happens is you get the play in a position where you're ready to hear it live, and you do what's called a reading. And I bring my actors in, and they've been with me through the process about a year and a half. They're wonderful. They're excited about it. So that starts in April. We're going into rehearsals middle of February. So I'm really excited about that. I'm not an actor in it, but just to hear my words and what what I conjured up. So I'm excited.
You're a very busy man. Do you consider yourself a working actor, or you consider yourself probably a superstar actor?
No. My God, Sherard, I want to live in the world you live in. Superstar actor? No. I'm a working actor. As always, like a lot of actors, I would love to work a little more. I have auditions all the time, mostly like this. Self-taping. It's frustrating. You want to be in a room with live people to really they get a sense of who you are. And I think that's better, but that just doesn't work now. They don't do that anymore. I may have, like I did a couple of auditions earlier at the end of last week. If I get a call back, it'll be tomorrow or Friday. You never know. Something could break, and then I'm in a commercial and all, but I just I keep busy. You're right. Because you can't wait. I always think, well, because of my age, there's an urgency in me that says, look, I mean, even if I take really good care of myself, 15 years, maybe, 81, 80, hopefully. I don't have a lot of time. I want to get out there and throw stuff out there. And you can't wait for the industry to find you. It's insane. I just got lucky with a couple of things that have been really, really good for me. So I've been writing a lot. I have another play in the works, short plays, these writers groups. So every week I'm somewhere. I'm either on Zoom. Friday, 2 days ago, I was up in Great Barrington in the scene study class, 3.5 hours to get up there. But it's such a great, live theater is phenomenal. So it's well worth the trip. I brought some actors, my friends that read for me. It was just a really great experience. So yeah, I would say I keep busy because otherwise, we only come here once. I got to make sure I make the most out of it. So
We certainly are. Well, we're going to take couple questions from the audience. You up for some questions from the audience, Tim?
Sure, of course.
Well, Tim, this question is from Margaret. She's from Margaret. She is from, oh, wow, she's all the way from St. Louis, Missouri. She's saying, welcome back, Tim, to the Sherard Show. She always loves having you when Sherard has you on show. Her question is, what's the most difficult thing about being a comedian these days with all the competition out there?
Oh, that's no good question. And it seems like there's more and more. It's like even I've been doing it about 15, 18 years. There's people I don't even know, but the key is you don't focus on any of that. You just focus on yourself and what you need to do. Right. Get up, open mics, get involved in shows. Typically, like for me, you start working, people see you, then you start out, the hierarchy is, you MC, you feature, then you start to headline. You just have to get out there. You have to put your time in. And It takes time, Sherard. I know I felt, as funny as I thought I was before, before I started doing it professionally, it takes about, for me, 6, 7 years where I felt comfortable and the silence didn't get to me. And now I enjoy it. I'm there and I'm thinking, you don't laugh at that, you're going to laugh at this. But that only comes with time, you have to put your time and you have to build your confidence. Audiences sense confidence immediately and they relax and they know they're in good hands and they'll be fine. But that takes time. So, right. Open mics, they're all over the place. Everywhere there's an open mic. It's amazing. And then you start to see people see you. You'll start getting asked to be on shows. It's
Very
cool.
good. Appreciate the question, Margaret. This one is from Blair. This is from Blair from Eagle Rock, California. He's saying he loves when Sherard has comedians on the show, especially ones from Saturday Night Live. His question is, what's next for you? Are you going to go on a Netflix or a 5-city tour? Oh, wow.
Wow. That's right now I'm so focused on, see, this is my problem. I have too many logs in the fire. So now I'm focused on the play, on the short film, getting it out. I'm writing other stuff, but I unfortunately my comedy is kind of taking a backseat to that. But yes, I'll be back on working towards that goal back after the show closes, probably in April, early May. But it is, like you said, Troy, there's only so many things you can do, and right now I feel like I'm just driven to write these stories and get them on the stage, and I want to move people, hopefully like the way I feel moved when I write it. So. But yeah, that's the goal, but that's a little bit down the road because something comes up and you go into a different direction. So right now for me, it's theater, acting, and the playwriting. So
very good. We really appreciate your question. There's a lot more, but we're out of time. But Tim, where can people reach out to you if they have more questions?
Oh, sure. I mean, Tim Hayes Comedy. Check my website out. Yeah, I would do that. Yeah, reach out. I would be happy to answer any questions. You can email me thayes58. This is a little embarrassing. Thayes58, THAYES 58 at AOL.com.
AOL what?
I know. I'm still on AOL. I know. Hey, I'm 66. Just,
Tim, did you get rid of your toaster oven yet? Oh my goodness.
No, I need to get a fryer, Sherard. All right, calm down. I'll get that taken care of. An air fryer. I know. I got to get with the
Now, Tim, my question to you before we get you out of here, name your top 3 comedians. I know that's tough. But what would you say?
I have to say right now, I mean, man, I love him. Dave Chappelle is number 1, baby. Dave Chappelle for me, number 1. Number 2, Bill Burr. And I still like the observational comedy of Jerry Seinfeld. But to me, I mean, Chappelle is here. And then Burr and I mean, they're all really, really good. But I just love how fearless. Bill Burr is fearless, but Chappelle is just in a class of his own. So.
Very good. Now, Tim, we really appreciate you stopping by the show today. Make sure you check out his films and also Tim Hayes Comedy on the website. The link is right there on your monitor, as well as his email address. Tim, any final thoughts?
No, I just love this. Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to coming back with some more information, some more stuff that happens. Hopefully, it's just great to have someone like you, help me and on my journey. So. And congratulations to you, Sherard. All the things you do, all the good things, helping kids, and just wonderful stuff. So
really appreciate it, Tim. Thank you so much. I'm praying next time you're on the show, either I'm in New York and we're on set together, or you're out here in LA at one of our LA studios. Hopefully so.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm in New York mostly, but yeah, that would be great. I'd love to meet in person, Sherard. Yeah,
such an awesome thing. Tim Hayes on the show. It's always a pleasure having him on. Join us on our next episode of the Sherard Show, where we're going to have from Cobra Kai, Mr. Sean Kanan stopping by, as well as the iconic Mr. Billy D. Williams. You don't want to miss that. Make sure you keep it locked here on the Sherard Show. Subscribe on Pure Essence Television Network, as well on Facebook and Instagram. And ladies and gentlemen, always remember, the best way to be back on your feet is to miss a few car payments. I'm Sherard. We'll see you next time. Bye now.